Hi everyone, welcome to Learning is Fun with Miss. In today's lesson, we will learn about plot, setting, characters, point of view, and theme. Plot is what happens and how it happens in a narrative. A narrative is any work that tells a story, such as a short story, a novel, a drama, or a narrative poem. Parts of a plot are the exposition, the event that gives rise to conflict, or the opening situation. The rising action are the events that complicate or intensify the central conflict. The climax is the highest point of interest or emotional involvement in the story. The falling action is the logical result of climax. The resolution is the final outcome of the story. Conflict is a struggle between opposing forces. Every plot must contain some kind of conflict. Stories can have more than one conflict. Conflicts can be external or internal. External conflict is outside force or outside forces. It could be a person, a group of people, animal, nature, or a non human obstacle. Internal conflict takes place in a character's mind. Here's the diagram of plot: the exposition, the conflict, giving rise to the action, the climax, then we have the falling action and the resolution. The climax is often also called the turning point. Here are some special techniques of plot. Suspense is the excitement or the tension in the story. Foreshadowing is the hint or clue about what will happen in the story. Flashback interrupts the normal sequence of events to tell about something that happened in the past. Surprise ending is the conclusion that readers does not expect. Many times it uses irony. The setting is the time and place where the action occurs or the story takes place. Some of the settings can be descriptive of furniture, scenery, costumes, transportation, clothing, dialects, weather, time of day, time of year. So look out for these key details when reading if you are trying to find the setting. Elements of a setting include location, physical place, atmosphere, mood, weather, word choice, feelings, time, era, history, day, life, etc. The functions of a setting: to create a mood or atmosphere, to show a reader a different way of life, to make action seem more real, to be the source of conflict or struggle, to symbolize an idea. Here's an example of setting. We left the home place behind, mile by slow mile, heading for the mountains across the prairie where the wind blew forever. At first, there were four of us with one horse wagon and its skimpy load. Pa and I walked because I was a big boy of 11. My two little sisters romped and trotted until they got tired and had to be boosted up to the wagon bed. That was no covered Conestoga, like Pa's folks came west in, but just an old farm wagon drawn by one weary horse creaking and rumbling westward to the mountains, toward the little woods town where Pa thought he had an old uncle who owned a little 2-bit sawmill. Excerpt taken from The Day the Sun Came Out by D. Johnson. Types of characters: people or animals, major characters, minor characters, round characters, flat characters. Some of the elements of the characters are here. They could be fully developed. They could be the protagonist. They could be flat characters, main characters, co-main characters. They can be the enemy, the antagonist, not fully developed. They could be the minor characters such as relatives or friends. Characterization is when a writer reveals what a character is like and how the character changes throughout the story. Two primary methods of characterization are direct and indirect. Direct characterization is when the writer tells what the character is like. Indirect characterization is when the writer shows what a character is like by describing what the character looks like, by telling what the character says and does, and by what other characters say about and do in response to the character. Direct characterization. And I don't play the dozens or believe in standing around with somebody in my face doing a lot of talking. I much rather just knock you down and take my chances even if I'm a little girl with skinny arms and a squeaky voice, which is how I got the name Squeaky. Indirect characterization. The old man bowed to all of us in the room. Then he removed his hat and gloves slowly and carefully. Chaplin once did that in a picture. In a bank. He was the janitor. Characterization is when a writer reveals what a character is like and how the character changes throughout the story. Two primary types of character: flat, reveals only one or two traits. Round, reveals varied and sometimes contradictory traits. Factors in analyzing characters: physical appearance of character, personality, background or personal history, motivation, relationships, conflict. Does character change throughout the story? The theme is a central message or concern or insight into the life expressed throughout a literary work. It can be expressed by one or two sentence statements about human beings or about life. It may be stated directly or implied, and the interpretation uncovers the theme. Example of theme: every man needs to feel allegiance to his native country, whether he always appreciates that country or not. From A Man Without a Country by Edward Hale, and it could be found on page 185 in the Prentice Hall literature book. In today's lesson, we learned about important story terms such as plot, setting, characters, point of view, and theme. Thank you for watching and learning with me. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.